collapsed, and Narotam's reputation as a divinely inspired youth spread to all corners of Bengal. When he was 16, the Jagirdar, an influential Muslim governor in the district, requested his presence, wanting to be blessed by the young Narotam. Krishnananda could not refuse the political leader of the Jagirdar's stature, but he was skeptical. If he gave Narottam the slightest chance, he knew the young enthusiast would run off to Vrindavan. Still, Krishnananda felt as if he had no choice. Upon reaching the court of the Jagirdar, Narottam found an opportunity to escape. It was now or never. Moving stealthily and furtively past the guards, he managed to run to the forest, determined to find his way to the holy land of Vrindavan. Although Navadvip was comparatively near, he went in the direction of Raja, not only because Mahaprabhu had ordered him to do so, but because nearby Navadvip would be the first place that the guards, if sent after him, would look. Going to Vrindavan entailed a lengthy sojourn across much of India on foot. Being the son of a king, his delicate and pampered body could barely endure the hardship of the journey, and he began to experience fatigue and hunger. After 3 days, his soft feet began to blister, and at one point, due to exhaustion, he lost consciousness. While Narottam was in that exhausted state, Mahaprabhu appeared to him in the form of a golden-skinned Brahmin and supplied a pot of milk for him to drink. Not recognizing the Brahmin as Sri Chaitanya himself, Narottam merely fell asleep, submitting once again to exhaustion. As he slept, Rupa and Sanatan encouraged him in a dream. Quote, Narottam, soon your suffering will end. Mahaprabhu has appeared to you and has brought milk for your nourishment. Drink deep and proceed to Vrindavan. With the words of Rupa and Sanatan still resounding in his heart, he awakened and began to weep joyously. In the eternal Leela of Krishna, distributing milk to Sri Radha and the intimate gopis is one of Narottam's services as a manjari. But now Krishna, in the form of Mahaprabhu, was reciprocating by serving milk to his pure devotee. Contemplating the implications of this loving exchange was all the nourishment that Narottam required, and with renewed vigor, he soon continued his journey to Raja. The next part is the fire of devotion.
You want to read a little bit, Ryan?
Before leaving the area in which he had been given the milk by Sri Chaitanya, he was discovered by the family guards. Apparently, Krishnananda had sent many men to scout for Narottam and bring him back. One particular party of competent employees actually found the young runaway. When they questioned him about his resolve, he simply said that he was being faithful like a good wife. When the husband dies, it is out of custom that the faithful wife may follow him into the fire and burn with his body on the funeral pyre. Narottam said, so I too am going into the fire of dedication to God. To extend the analogy, Narottam continued, when a woman wants to show devotion to her husband in this extreme way, it is natural that well-wishers will try to stop her. They will not allow her to enter the fire. So I understand that you do not want me to enter the fire of God consciousness. Narottam concluded, but you should also understand that I would be less than a faithful servant of my Lord if I did not attempt to enter that fire. End quote. Narottam's simple and poetic analogy so moved the guards that they let him go on his way. One guard even gave him some money for his expenses. This was a common example of Narottam's spiritual potency and the violently bewitching personality. Next part, entering Vrindavan.
Darian, you want to read it?
Check. Okay.
Put yourself a map there to read it. You want a map? You can sit on a map.
Oh yeah. Entering Vrindavan. After this incident, he approached Mathura near Lord Krishna's birthplace and bathed in the Yamuna at Vishramghat. That night, he met an elderly Brahmin who invited him to stay with him. The Brahmin informed Narottam that Sanatan, Rupa, Raghunath, Bhatta, Kashishwar Pandit, and others had
Just a
recently
second.
departed from this world to rejoin
Darian,
Mahaprabhu.
just a second, you were having a little
Take it.
disturbance here.
There you go.
Okay.
That should be done.
Raghunath Bhatt, Kashishwar Pandit, and others had recently departed from this world to rejoin Mahaprabhu's Leela in the kingdom of God. As the Brahmin spoke, Narottam began to cry. He had traveled many miles and had hoped to personally meet all of these exalted personalities. Contemplating the untimely demise of the teachers he had idolized, he fainted. The biographies concur, however, that at that time all of the exalted souls whom Narottam had wanted to see appeared to him in a spiritual vision. In fact, the fortunate Brahmin at whose house Narottam was staying was able to hear much of the discussion that Narottam had with these departed souls. Rupa and Sanatan especially counseled Narottam, encouraging him to seek out Jiva Goswami to study Gaudiya philosophy. When Narottam finally arrived in Vrindavan, he came upon the Govindadev Mandir. Seeing Rupa Goswami's magnificent temple structure drove him mad, and his body exhibited 8 symptoms of ecstasy, such an intense weeping, horripilation, and change in color. Naturally, Jiva Goswami was quickly informed of Sadhu's arrival and could understand that he was the long-awaited Narottam. Sri Jiva hurriedly walked to the Govindadev temple, and when he saw Narottam, he was immediately reminded of Mahaprabhu. Just then, many great Vaishnav Mohants arrived, asking, "Where is Narottam? Where is Narottam?" And with great love, all the devotees pointed to the young saint, who was sprawled across the temple courtyard in a trance-like state. This indeed is young Narottam. Narottam's initiation. As Narottam met Vrindavan's most advanced devotees, he was particularly impressed by Lokanath Goswami, whose exceptional sense of humility and austerity was noted by all Vaishnavas. Lokanath was very kind to Narottam and arranged for a portion of the temple's sacred vegetarian food offering, prasadam, for him to eat. Since Mahaprabhu had revealed to Lokanath the night before in a dream that Narottam would arrive the next day, Lokanath had made preparations so they could eat together. And during that meal, Narottam told Lokanath his entire story. After relating the major incidents of his life, he concluded by saying, "Actually, I have no right to sit with you and take this pure food. I do not even have a guru." Hearing this, Lokanath Goswami laughed heartily, reminding him, "You have received the direct grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the original guru, the guru of the universe. Besides him, who else do you want for a teacher? He has given you love, the same love that most devotees hanker for throughout their entire lifetime. You possess that love. What is the value of having another guru? Narottam replied, My Prabhu, I am a poor man, bereft of all good qualities. Your order is my life and soul. But if you will permit me, I would like to say a few more words on this subject. Lokanath then assured him that he could speak freely. It is true that Mahaprabhu is the only real Guru, Narottam agreed, but he simultaneously has faith in you to be my Guru and has asked me to take initiation from you. The Guru guides the disciple in practical spiritual life. I have no spiritual insight and I am feeling separation from the Lord. For this reason, I am begging your mercy. What's going on here? Excuse me.
Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. So we can understand that Narottam Das Thakur is called Nitya Siddha, eternally liberated. Not an ordinary man like you and I. Eternally liberated soul, sent especially by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
It still goes. Shall we finish
Let's
this
finish it there.
one part? Yeah?
Finish something, finish one section, and I'll read a little bit and then maybe.
Okay. So, it is true that Mahaprabhu is the only real Guru, Narottam agreed, but he simultaneously has faith in you to be my Guru and has asked me to take initiation from you. The Guru guides the disciple in practical spiritual life. I have no spiritual insight and I am feeling separation from the Lord. For this reason, I beg for your mercy. Lokanath laughed at his future disciple's insistence. He countered Narottam by saying, the scriptures recommend that the prospective disciple chant the holy names of Krishna in a regulative way for at least a year and develop an attachment for the holy name within his heart. Lokanath, out of humility, had vowed never to accept any disciples, and particularly now that Sanatan and Rupa had passed away, he was grieving their loss. So Narottam was clearly given a rough time of it. Nonetheless, chanting was not a foreign activity to Narottam, and so complying with Lokanath Goswami's orders, he chanted japa for a full year in Vrindavan. During this time, Narottam listened to Lokanath's discourses on a regular basis. Out of humility, he ate only the remnants of Lokanath's food, and then he cleaned the area and performed various menial services. Cleaned the area. A year passed in this way, and Lokanath was still disinclined to give initiation to his worthy disciple. Narottam was totally devoted to Lokanath, and he used to arrive secretly every day near Lokanath's dwelling late at night to clean the area where Lokanath had evacuated. Once Lokanath hid in the bushes and discovered that it was Narottam who was cleaning up after him. Nonetheless, Lokanath remained true to his vow and did not initiate Narottam. After another year of Narottam's selfless service, Lokanath had a sacred dream. Mahaprabhu appeared to Lokanath and chastised him for not initiating Narottam. Did I not tell you to initiate him? Mahaprabhu insisted. Do not continue in this false humility. Lokanath now knew that he had to initiate Narottam. Soon after this incident, Narottam again approached Lokanath for initiation. This time, Narottam offered a very pleasing argument. I am like a young woman who has already chosen her husband, Narottam said. My heart is clear without any doubt. A young woman who makes up her mind in this way prays that her father will agree with her choice. Narottam concludes, I pray that our Father in heaven agrees with my choice. Lokanath was moved by Narottam's sincerity and said, Your fierce determination has exceeded my own, but you are the only disciple I will ever make. For the remainder of his life, he adhered to this vow. Lokanath initiated Narottam according to the guidelines of the Gaudiya Sampradaya, giving him the confidential Radha Krishna mantra and the Gayatri mantra as well. In addition, Lokanath revealed Narottam's ontological Manjari form as Vilas Manjari, or as he is sometimes called Champak Manjari, and explained his service in the spiritual world. Generally, the Guru does not reveal such esoteric subjects so early in the disciple's devotional life, but Narottam was clearly an exception in every way. Lokanath concluded the initiation by asking Narottam to take shelter of Jiva Goswami for further instructions.
Okay, I'll read one more and then. See, they're just making me offer there, so I'm not going anywhere. I'll just read one more. Three more. What's that? Three more.
The whole thing!
As the day, this is called boiling the milk. As the days passed and weeks and then months, Narottam grew in spiritual accomplishment, as did his reputation throughout Vrindavan. One night, a divine Vaishnavi appeared to him in a dream and said, "Dedicate yourself to the feet of your Guru and do whatever he asks. With sincerity and austerity it pleased me, and I will see that you are engaged in a very confidential service. When I meet Krishna every afternoon in the Kunj, I see that the Sakis are serving him with the utmost care. They make a special milk-based preparation for him, and Champakalata is the most efficient gopi in this service. You shall work under her direction, boiling the milk, and remember that I become happy if Krishna is happy." Unquote. When Narottam awoke, he quickly ran to Lokanath Goswami's hut and conveyed the entire dream. Lokanath embraced Narottam, confirming that the Vaishnavi was indeed Radhika, Krishna's consort. Lokanath was pleased to hear that Narottam was given a special service, boiling milk, by Radharani herself. Lokanath understood that this was his disciple's external service to Krishna, and that Radhika was merely reinstating him in that service. After being given this unique chore by Radharani and having it confirmed by his guru Narottam, After being given this unique chore by Radharani and having it confirmed by his guru, Narottam would sometimes go into elaborate meditative trances, visualizing himself boiling milk for Radhika and the gopis, while in his Manjari form. Often in this visualized Siddhadeha, or perfected form, he found it useful to use dry wood for the fire, which kept the milk boiling. On occasion, however, the milk would overflow. Whenever this happened, Narottam would try to stop the overflowing milk with his bare hands. During his intense meditations, he would often neglect the fact that his hands were scorched. But when his reverie subsided, he saw that the scorched hands and his mystical vision had accompanied him back to the world of three dimensions. Sometimes he tried to cover his marked hands with a piece of cloth, but all the Vaishnavas knew the transcendent way in which he had received the burns. So don't try imitating that. You're not going to get your Siddhadeha by imitating. Okay. You want to read one, Sean? And this is Jiva. This section is called Jiva Goswami. Complying with the order of Lokanath, Narottam submitted himself at the feet of Sri Jiva Goswami, asking the Goswami to accept him as a student. In response, Jiva Goswami took hold of his hands and immediately requested him to tell the story of how they became so badly burned. Narottam then told his master the recurring events of his inner meditation. As Sri Jiva listened, he felt great satisfaction and spiritual ecstasy. He confirmed that Narottam was indeed Vilas Manjari, and Narottam said, "Yes, Radhika herself has addressed me in this way." Hearing this with boundless glee, Jiva Goswami embraced Narottam, saying, "You are the manifestation of Mahaprabhu's love, and with this love you will flood the entire universe." It was during this period that Narottam met Srinivas, who came to Vrindavan to study under Sri Jiva, and the two of them became dear friends. They were known as Jiva Goswami's best students, and along with Dukha Krishnadas and along with Dukhi Krishnadas, Shamananda in other words, they excelled in all their studies. Consequently, Jiva Goswami bestowed distinguished titles upon them: Narottam Das Thakur Mahashoya, Srinivasacharya Prabhu, and Shamananda. And he gave them the special mission of distributing the Bhakti Ras scriptures throughout Greater Bengal and Orissa. The details of this episode are retold in the previous chapter concerning the life of Srinivasacharya. Okay, now there's a section here about Keturi Gram. Let's see here. Narottam Das Thakur started to initiate disciples, actually.
Okay.
Then Narottam went to Navadvip. Okay, now this comes to the point I was trying to get to. After visiting many of the holy places and personalities of Chaitanya Leela, Narottam returned to Keturi. When he arrived, a letter was waiting for him. It was from his Diksha Guru. In the letter, Lokanath asked him to establish deity worship in Keturi Gram because, although there were many sincere devotees in Keturi, according to Lokanath, they would develop best with their Archana Vigraha to worship on a daily basis. This was a significant step in the spiritual lives of Narottam's disciples. He chose the day of Gaur Purnima, the auspicious birth anniversary of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to inaugurate a huge installation festival. This festival would also offer Narottam an opportunity to spread the teachings of the Goswamis throughout the Bengal area, for all important Vaishnavas would attend a celebration in honor of Mahaprabhu's appearance. See, this is the first Gaur Purnima festival. The Lord had completed his manifest pastime several decades earlier, but his birth anniversary had not been observed as a big Mahotsava, a great celebration. This would be the first time, and so Narottam invited many important Vaishnavas, Mahants, great souls, from throughout the Indian subcontinent, particularly in Bengal and Orissa. Although there is tremendous scholarly debate over the exact year of this festival, it can be safely said that it occurred between the 6th and 8th decade of the 16th century. Hundreds of the first and second generation associates of Mahaprabhu and their followers received invitations written in elaborate Sanskrit poetry. Still, Narottam wondered how he would properly accommodate those noteworthy souls. For out of deep respect, he wanted to offer them the best possible facilities. As it transpired, Narottam would indeed be able to give his guests such first-rate lodgment, since Raj Krishnananda, Narottam's father, and Raj Purushottam, Narottam's uncle, had both passed away, leaving the riches of the kingdom to Santosh Dutt, Narottam's very close cousin. Santosh had recently become Narottam's disciple and was anxious to meet Narottam's peers and other exalted devotees. Consequently, Santosh became the prime mover behind the organization of the festival, and under Narottam's order, he willingly bore the entire expense. Laboring for many months, a huge and ornate temple was constructed with a large storehouse for food, an elaborately designed kirtan hall, an adjoining residential building for devotees, an idyllic bathing fountain, a colorful and highly wrought flower garland, another guest house for additional visitors. Messengers were dispatched in all directions to invite not only Vaishnavas but also kings, landowners, poets, scholars, authors, performers, and other illustrious guests. The devotees of Jajigram came together with Srinivasacharya and Govinda Kaviraj. Ramachandra came as well. Remember, we're singing Ramachandra Magasangi Narotama Das every day. This is Ramachandra. Ramachandra came as well, providing the opportunity for his friendship with Narottam to blossom. From Narasimhapur and Orissa came Shamananda Pandit and his followers, including Rasik Murari. Janavama and her entire entourage came from Kardaha. From Srikant district came Raghunath Thakur and many other devotees. Srinivas Thakur's brothers came from Navadvip, and Advaita Acharya's sons came from Shantipur. Hridaya Chaitanya traveled from Ambikana, as did many other Gaudiya Mahants. This is just a brief sampling of the devotees who attended. Since all these exalted souls, traveling from their respective towns largely by walking, they gathered new followers along the way, telling everyone they met about the fabulous festival that would soon take place at Katuri. Hundreds snowballed into thousands, and over the course of 1 week they all reached the borders of West Bengal. Santosh Dutt arranged for dozens of colossal boats to ferry back and forth as devotees needed to cross the river. Once the devotees were in East Bengal, luxuriant palanquins and huge ox carts carried them to Keturi ground. The hosts, Narotama, Srinivas, and Santosh Dutt, greeted everyone as they arrived, offering each guest a flower garland and welcoming them with great affection. All the devotees were given separate accommodations with personal servants to attend to their needs. The guest of honor, Janavama Acharyani, was the senior, Acharyani, so it says here, was the senior and most respected Vaishnava at the event. So Narotama specifically worshipped her with flowers and chanda and encouraged the devotees to do the same. Actually, the role of Janavama at the Katuri festival should be properly highlighted. Within the Gaudiya Sampradaya, diverse philosophical conceptions were coming to the fore, such as Gora, Nagari Bhav, Rasaraj, Gora Paramyavad, the teaching that Mahaprabhu is the ultimate Godhead, Nitai Paramyavad, Advaita Paramyavad, in other words, all these Sahajya groups. And other variations as well. Each of their conceptions embody distinct nuances, too complex to illuminate in this short book. Janava, as the leading Vaishnava of the time, mediated on behalf of all these camps and resolved their differences to the satisfaction of the Gaudiya orthodoxy. Thus, her presence was especially appreciated by Narotama Thakur. They may not be Sahajras, I should take that back, although it looks like that. Definitely Gauranga Bhava, Gauranga Nagari Bhava. Anyway. After worshipping Janava Devi in the appropriate way and showing proper respects to all assembled Vaishnavas, Raghunath Thakur sang the invocation prayers signifying an extremely holy event. A huge kirtan ensued well into the night as a preparation for the actual festival, which began on the following day. The next morning, thousands of enthusiastic devotees began the celebration of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Appearance Day festival with a huge, enthusiastic kirtan. Then Narotama unveiled 5 acts of Radha Krishna. Then Narotama unveiled 5 sets of Radha Krishna deities, whose names were Vallabhi Kanta, Sri Krishna, Braj Mohan, Radha Kanta, and Radha Raman. And also 2 gorgeous deities of Sri Chaitanya and his associates, all to be installed with the blessings of the assembled Vaishnavas. The purpose of such deity worship centers around the Vaishnava belief grounded in scriptures that Krishna agrees to accept service through his properly installed Archana Vigraha, and that the devotees can thus develop a personal conception by focusing their mind and senses on God in a plainly visible way. Finally, okay, little ... here. Then the rest of the devotees feasted and discussed Krishna for many hours. Finally, devotees went into the huge ornate kirtan hall, where Narotama began to leave a moving, deliberate kirtan in his own distinct style. This came to be known as the Gora Hati form of kirtan, with its mellow, unmistakable mellows and its rich emotional content. It was based on the classical Drupada technique, which is serene and majestic.
Could you spell that out?
Drupada?
G-A-R-A-N.
It's Garanhati. G-A-R-A-N. Garan.
Okay.
Hati. H-A-T-I.
Okay.
Okay, so then they have a wonderful kirtan, and there's a whole section here I'm going to skip about that. And then a little bit of details about how this kirtan was done and so on. It is said that Narottam's kirtan, more than anybody else's, had reached a perfected state. This is accepted by Gaudiya Vaishnavas as an objective fact for a number of reasons, not the least of which may be the miraculous occurrence that has been documented by all biographers of the period. Mahaprabhu and all his associates, many of whom had left the mortal world more than 50 years earlier, personally appeared at the Kuturi festival and danced at the height of Narottam's blessed kirtan. Thousands of attended devotees bore witness to the sacred event. The author of Bhakta Ratnakar incredulously asked, who can describe the incomparable happiness of the devotees when in the midst of the kirtan, the munificent Sri Chaitanya and his associates descended for the pleasure of his devotees? Like a flash of lightning in the middle of a mass of beautiful clouds, Sri Chaitanya himself appeared within the multitude of his devotees. According to the Prema Vilas, Mahaprabhu appeared with Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas, Haridas Thakur, Shrip Damodar, Rupa Sanatana, and others. Who indeed can imagine the heightened bhav as Janava saw her departed husband in the midst of the kirtan?
How
Who
long
could
have
imagine?
they been missing before this? How long have they been missing before this?
I think 50 years.
Really? Wow.
I don't know. Do you know when Nityananda Prabhu disappeared?
I just heard you said 50 years.
Anyway. Who indeed can imagine the heightened bhav as Janava saw her departed husband in the midst of the kirtan? Who can imagine the feeling of Advaita Acharya's sons when they saw their father singing and dancing as if he were a young man? How did Srivas Thakur's brothers stop themselves from crying when they saw Srivas himself dancing in front of Mahaprabhu, just as they had remembered him? In fact, they could not control themselves. They were carried away by the ecstasy of reuniting with the Lord and his associates. By experiencing Vipralamba Bhav, intense separation, they were all to experience Sambho, or divine union.
Sambho?
Sambho, sorry. As the devotees were danced more and more, each one felt his or her body become soaked with tears as they completely lost themselves in Narottam's kirtan. For a time, Srinivas was able to control himself, but Narottam could not, and his kirtan reached irrepressible proportions. Some devotees shouted in Narottam's ear, "Thank you, my master. Your devotional power has enabled us to all see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his unending spiritual dance with Advaita Acharya and other eternal associates." Mahaprabhu had told Narottam in a dream the prior evening that he would come with his excuse me. Mahaprabhu had told Narottam in a dream